Boy, all day. 2:47 AM pop off. Know what it is. Popping off as much rugby league information as possible. Nearly there now. The 2020 Wooden Spoon in the Australian Rugby League going to Brisbane Broncos, and this one, infamous Wooden Spoon. And so you don't miss any crucial rugby league information watching this video all the way through to the end, as per always. So, this one here, poor old Broncos getting the spoon in 2020. Their only Wooden Spoon they've got so far. Such an almighty team, such a powerhouse of the competition for many, many decades, and it was bitterly disappointing, not just for Broncos fans, for rugby league fans as a whole, to see them perform the way they did in 2020. Absolutely disgraceful. As we all know, they had their dynasty era. They entered the comp in 1988, and between 1992 to the year 2000, won 5 premierships in 9 years, to have one of the all-time great teams back then. 92 grand final, they'd beaten St George 28-8. 93, they'd beaten St George 14-6. 97 Super League Grand Final, they'd beaten Cronulla 26-8. 98 Grand Final, they'd beaten Bulldogs 38-12. And the year 2000 Grand Final, they'd beaten Roosters 14-6. So they had that dynasty, and then also in 2006, they beat Storm 15-8 in one of my personal favourite Grand Finals. So since the year 2000 and the year 2006, okay, they haven't been a dynasty team, but they've still been like a heavyweight. They've still been one of the powerhouses of the competition. Ever since then, as we all know, and absolutely unthinkable that Broncos of all teams will ever get the Wooden Spoon, let alone play as abysmally as they did in 2020. Wow. So, from the 20 games, because it was a COVID-interrupted season, as we all know, we got through the first 2 rounds, had an extended break, and then eventually ended up playing 18 more games, so it was a short 20-round season. At least we've got some sort of a season in. So, from the 20 games in 2020, Broncos won only 3 games and lost 17. And so did Bulldogs. Bulldogs, who finished second last, also won 3 and lost 17. But Broncos had scored only 268 points in attack. So they scored only 13 points per game in attack. And they conceded 624 in defence, which is 31 points per game. So on average, Broncos were losing their games 31 points to 13 on average in 2020. Quite disgracefully. So Broncos for and against, scoring 268 and conceding 624 points. Their for and against ended up minus 356, whereas Bulldogs for and against was minus 222. Which allowed Bulldogs to avoid the spoon. But even with that said, it did come down to the very last round in 2020 to decide which of the two would get the spoon, which we'll obviously get to in a few minutes from now. Not too long from now. So, the Broncos scorers, 3 players who are renowned in rugby league circles, 3 players who are capable of much, much more points than what they got in 2020. The 3 leading scorers, Tony Staggs, and he could only get 10 tries, 18 goals, 76 points for Broncos in 2020. Then there was Jermaine Osako, who got 3 tries, 16 goals, 44 points in 2020. And then Herbie Farnworth, who got 6 tries, 3 goals, 30 points. So those 3 players getting a measly return in points and capable of many, many more points, but obviously didn't get them on this occasion. So, usually do the moments in the sun in the most embarrassing moments, and I could just pick the few out. But, just why not just do all the scores? This is the last time I'm going to do all the scores in the season, because it is taxing, it does take a lot out of me. Even though I love it, but look, we're nearly there. There's only 4 more Wooden Spoons after this. This was a shortened season, meaning you don't have to do as many scores as usual. Why not just do all the Broncos scores in 2020? So, before the COVID interruption, in round 1, Broncos had beaten Cowboys 28-21 at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, and that was the very first game ever played at the Cowboys' new and improved outstanding home ground. I still haven't been there. I definitely have to go to Townsville one day to see that home ground. And in round 2, Broncos had beaten South 22-18 at Suncorp Stadium. So they'd started with their winning ways. So then, who knows what happened during the COVID break, but yeah, obviously, something went wrong. And when we finally restarted the season on May 28, I'm pretty sure the COVID break was March 10 after May 28, we finally restarted the 2020 season on May 28, out of 18 remaining games, Broncos could win just 1 more, and even that win was in round 9 against Canterbury, 26 points to 8. And like I said, Canterbury finished second last, and that's the only team Broncos could even beat. So, but like I said, all the scores and all. So round 1, they'd beaten Cowboys 28-21. Round 2, they'd beaten South 22-18. So round 3, an alarming 34 points to 6 hiding from Parramatta at Suncorp. In round 4, we knew something was completely off. We knew that the wheels had completely fallen off. 59-0 to Roosters at Suncorp Stadium. Can you believe that? 59-0, not a point. Yeah, against one of the heavyweights in the Roosters, but still, not a point. And 59-0, believe that or not. In round 5 at Gosford Stadium, They started well, and they led Manly 18-0 early before Manly eventually came back to just win 2018. So that was disappointing, giving up the 18-0 lead. In round 6, a 27 points to 6 loss to Newcastle, also at Gosford Stadium. In round 7, a 30 points to 12 loss to Gold Coast at Gold Coast Stadium. In round 8, a 26-16 loss to Warriors at Gosford Stadium. In round 9, 26-8 win over Canterbury, the only game they won out of the last 18. At least they won that. Yeah, look, yeah, know what I mean? Yeah, wow. At least they won that one. At least they did at least win that game. Otherwise, it would have been 18 consecutive losses. But then in round 10, to prove that win in round 9 was nothing but a one-off, in round 10, they were absolutely torn to smithereens. They were torn to shreds by Benji Marshall, going down to West Tigers 48-0 at Leichhardt. Absolutely disgraceful. And Marshall just did it all on his own. He was scoring tries, he was setting up tries, kicking 40-20s. Marshall putting on a Marshall masterclass to tear Broncos to smithereens all by himself. Tigers 48, Broncos 0, 2020 round 10. In round 11, they got torn apart again, this time by a destructive Melbourne Storm, 46-8 at Suncorp Stadium in round 11. And in round 12, they'd gone down to Cronulla 36-26 at Suncorp Stadium. In round 13, 28 points to 10 to South Sydney at Accor Stadium. In round 14, another thumping, 36-8 to Canberra at Raiders Stadium, Canberra Stadium. In round 15, a close one. Still couldn't get the job done, but at least it was a close one this time. 28-24 loss to St George Illawarra Dragons in round 15. In round 16, for the second time, humiliated by Sydney Roosters, 58-16 at the SCG. So 59-0 to Roosters in round 4, believe it or not. And then 58-16 in round 16. So 59 points and then 58 points that they had conceded. The only difference was, at least in round 16, they got their 16 points. At least they got something out of it. Wow. In round 17, 25-12 lost to Penrith. In round 18, 18-6 lost to Gold Coast. In round 19, 26-12 lost to Parramatta at Combank Stadium. And then, like I said, came down to the very last round of the season, where in round 20, Bulldogs and Broncos, so after 90 games, Bulldogs and Broncos had both won 3 and lost 16 games on the same competition points. Dogs had the better for and against, but they were still on the same competition points. Meaning that after Dogs lost their game to Penrith 42-0 in 2020 round 20, last regular season game, so after Dogs lost that game 42-0, that left the door open for Broncos to win their last round game and avoid the spoon, and had to play Cowboys at Suncorp Stadium, and they led 16-0. They did the right thing. They led 16-0 early, and we're thinking, they're going to finish this season of misery. They're going to finish this season from hell with a rare win, and at least avoid the spoon. Well, no. After leading 16-0, they couldn't manage another point, and eventually it ended up Cowboys 32, Broncos 16 in 2020 round 20, and that's how Broncos officially got the wooden spoon, by leading 16-0 and surrendering. Otherwise, if they could have held on and beaten Cowboys, they would have at least avoided the spoon, and it would have gone to Bulldogs. So Bulldogs just avoiding the spoon in 2020, but that was not the case in 2021, because the 2021 wooden spoon is Bulldogs, and that's obviously up next. And thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end. And for letting me take more than a year just to finish the wooden spoons, but we're nearly there now. Only 4 more wooden spoons now, so we'll have that done in 2 weeks. Finally finish the wooden spoons. Then we've got a special or something just before the year ends, and then we'll rip back into it in February next year, full time. Boyle Day, 47. Thank you so much for not missing any essential rugby league information and for continued brutal support of Boyle Day, D47. Turn blue.